The Cardano ecosystem is following in the footsteps of its competitor Solana with the upcoming launch of 3 platforms acting as derivatives of Pump.Fun, which basically allow for meme coins or just any tokens to be launched on the chain instantly. Now I'm going to be talking about the potential impacts of these platforms, but we're also going to highlight the general market. We'll take a look at TVL, and then we'll review some of the biggest updates that have been released by builders here in the ecosystem. That said, let's jump right on in. What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name's Fareed. As a part of today's video, we've got some catching up to do when it comes to all of the updates in the Cardano ecosystem. First things first, I want to do a brief review of the market, taking a look at some of the most recently traded tokens, just overall how DeFi and how TVL is doing in the Cardano ecosystem, followed by some upcoming Cardano-based events. That includes a hackathon by Nmaker being hosted in Berlin. Also, we're expecting Rare Evo to be taking place in 24 days. So I want to quickly highlight both of those upcoming events. Second, I want to jump into some big updates surrounding the Cornucopias game. Their file node NFTs are officially live. You can go ahead and register. I'll walk through that particular process. And then they recently released a slide deck highlighting everything for their upcoming pre-season. So I want to talk about utility, NFTs, and all of that fun. Now, following that, we've also got JPG.store joining the fun, no pun intended here. They're going to be creating a token launchpad very similar to Pump.Fun. If you're not familiar with that, it's a platform that basically allows for you to launch a meme token or just any type of token on the Solana ecosystem. I believe there's been over a few million tokens launched on that platform since its official release. Now, after that little bit there, I do want to quickly highlight the Xerberus protocol. They've just released a brand new security feature, very similar to one that was proposed by the Jira Wallet team. So I want to highlight their proposal and their feature there as well. In closing, as a part of today's video, I want to dive into some updates when it comes to Cardano wallets. And so we're going to touch on the Tangem wallet. We're also going to highlight the Begin wallet, which has released a brand new ID feature similar to ADA handles. And then last but not least, we've got the Tokyo wallet officially releasing their wallet for everybody using iOS. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, my goal is to help you find your way around the growing Cardano ecosystem. That said, if you'd like to support me here on my mission to educate the broader Cardano space, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Right now, you'll earn traditional ADA rewards. You'll also be earning the Matera utility token, the Sarah utility token, as well as the Tokyo utility token. Keep in mind, you won't be able to claim those rewards until the ISPOs conclude. That's probably the most common question that I get about this portion of my videos. Again, keep in mind, you can claim your ADA at any given time. That's all completely yours. And that's all distributed right through the actual network with the partner pools and those additional tokens. Those will all depend on the actual teams and the duration of their ISPOs. Now, that said, again, thank you for all of your support, not only with the stake pool, but also through the YouTube channel as well. Let's jump into the very first portion of today's video. Again, just quickly breaking down the general state of Cardano's ecosystem. So as it stands, we've got a TVL amount of $236 million US. And if you take a look at the right-hand side in just terms of the ADA valuation, it's been pretty stagnant. Consolidating, for lack of better terms, since, let's see here, around the October/November timeline. So we really haven't seen a huge push up in terms of new products coming into the ecosystem that lock up a lot of ADA. But it is good to see that we're not dramatically losing our TVL. Now, if we take a look at this here based in US dollars, because of the price of ADA reaching all the way up to about 80 cents and then sharply dropping back down to about 35 cents as of last week, that's had a huge impact here on the US value for the TVL. Now, breaking down some of the top dApps here in the ecosystem, we've got MinSwap still leading the way with $64 million locked, followed by Indigo at $50 million. And then we've got Liquid, which is currently standing at $29 million. And then we've got SundaySwap, which is now beginning to climb the ranks. So if you guys aren't aware, the third version of the SundaySwap protocol recently went live on the mainnet, improving their throughput by 10x, bringing a bunch of new orders and just making the user interface a lot easier and a lot more flexible. So since then, we've seen them really gain a lot more interaction, a lot more transactions, and then just fulfilling a lot more orders. especially because of the fact that more and more of the aggregators are bringing traffic to them. Now, specific to SundaeSwap, we've seen a lot of meme coins, I believe including Nike, which all basically started on that particular DEX. So tokens like that, meme coins that pop up, if you're able to get liquidity on your DEX pretty quickly, that then forces any DEX aggregator to basically have to go through your platform in order to distribute those tokens to anybody who's looking to buy those. So I think that the SundaeSwap team has taken the opportunity and they've basically been able to cash in a little bit, for lack of better terms, when it comes to that. Right after that, we've got LenFi, and then we've got the Jet stablecoin, and then we've also got the Splash protocol. Now, there's been a topic or just a particular discussion that I've seen here in the ecosystem about DEXs on Cardano and the fact that we've got over 14 different ones. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about DEXs right now in the landscape of Cardano, but we do and we are continuing to get even more. Now, is this oversaturated? I'm starting to think so. But again, I think it's good to have a variety, especially with aggregators where we're able to distribute or disperse a lot of the traffic to some of the maybe smaller platforms that wouldn't necessarily get users making direct swaps directly on those areas. Now, that said, there's also been people discussing the fact that this could potentially be due to the fact that it's harder to develop here in Cardano, making deploying DeFi protocols, DePIN protocols, infrastructure platforms a little bit harder, which is why we've seen such a saturated DEX market as well as a wallet market. Now, I'm also going to be talking about wallets here in just a moment, but I would love to hear about what your thoughts are just surrounding the types of products in Cardano and whether or not different aspects of the ecosystem, for example, like the DEX ecosystem, is oversaturated or undersaturated. Okay, let's quickly move into the second portion here, which is just a brief market overview. Taking a look here, we've got active addresses over the last 30 days, up 14%. Trading volumes also up about 7%. And then we've got TVL rising about 17% over the course of the last month alone. Now, again, we've seen MintSwap continue to dominate this particular portion of the market. If you missed that piece of news as well, we've got V2, which is officially launched. I just had Long and Ramik, their head of strategy or growth strategy, on the channel not too long ago to break down all the features about that DEX as well. So make sure to go ahead and tune in and check that particular one out. Quickly shifting over into the NFT market, which doesn't appear to be doing as well. We do have more active addresses. We do have sales increasing as well. Now, the dominance here is pretty jarring. We've got JPG.store, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about them here in just a minute, with over 98% of the market dominance. Now, if we compare that to just the regular tokens, again, we are starting to see more DEXs, specifically SundaeSwap, eating into their particular dominance. So this, I think at the highest was around 70 to 80%. Of course, again, as more of the protocols have matured, they've been able to capture more of that market share. Now, we haven't seen a pretty big competitor. We haven't seen a long-lasting competitor when it comes to the NFT market. And we're really starting to see JPG.store corner the market, for lack of better terms. Now, let's talk a little bit more about Cardano-based events here. If you're not aware, we've got 24 more days left until Rare Evo, which is now probably the biggest Cardano event outside of the Dubai Summit, which I'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute as well. But we're expecting the Cardano community, Ethereum, ICP, Algorand, Solana, Base, I mean, you name it, a lot of the big blockchains will be there. This will be taking place on August 15th through the 17th at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Now, I will be providing more and live interviews from the actual event. So if there's a particular project that you're interested in that you'd like for me to interview, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you haven't already checked it out, there is a booth map or an exhibition map here breaking down the main stage. So we are expecting guests such as Charles Hoskinson. We're also expecting creators, right, which include like the altcoin Daily Brothers. We've also had in times past BitBoy. I'm not sure if he'll show up this time, etc. But then you got the actual breakdown of the projects that'll be in attendance. There's also a nice page here breaking down everybody else who'll be participating and showcasing their products at the Rare Evo conference. Now, last but not least, we've got a brand new Haskell Masterclass being hosted by Input Output or IOG during Rare Evo. Now, I haven't actually taken a look to see how much this costs, but there is limited seating available. And for a masterclass, you're going to be hearing directly from the team at IOG. So this is definitely one to check out. I'll release a separate video breaking down a little bit of the details if you guys would like for me to do so. Next, we've got a hackathon being hosted by the nMaker team, and we've got the Cardano Foundation showing their support, where it states that they're excited, nMaker, to announce the Cardano Foundation partnership for the hackathon taking place in Berlin for 2024. Now, what I love about this is how huge the actual venue is going to be. So we've got Patrick Tobler here, founder of nMaker, sharing some of that alpha here with us. Looks like it's going to be on 2 separate floors. And if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be cash rewards for some of the winners who basically come in, I believe, might be first, second, or third place for the actual hackathon. So again, I'm kind of quickly running through some of these updates. There's so many here to catch up with, in the Cardano ecosystem that I can't do deep dives into everything just yet. But once I've kind of made my way through, I'll circle back with more in-depth content. Now, as always, I'll leave the links to everything that I've discussed so far down below. If you guys are enjoying today's video so far, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by, again, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below. The next topic I want to jump into is the Cornucopias game. So the MMORPG within Cardano that's now expanded out into the base ecosystem, Ethereum, and as well as the BNB chain, has now launched and officially distributed their Cornucopias file nodes. So it states if you purchase a file node NFT, they're basically now delivered. You can go and check your wallet. And with that, you have the ability now to go ahead and actually register your file nodes in anticipation of rewards by being a file node owner or a file node operator. So it states here, 62% of all of the circulating supply for the file node NFTs have already been registered on the Cornucopias dashboard. Now, the actual registration process is relatively quick and relatively simple. All you have to do is go ahead and create a Cornucopias player account. So you have to jump into the Discord. Once you create your player account, you basically connect your Discord account to that. You then connect your wallet, and then they've got a NFT node dedicated page. You jump on that page. Once your wallet has been read by the official website, it's going to show and display all of your nodes. From there, it's just a matter of clicking a couple of buttons in order to register and to begin earning your rewards. So a relatively simple process. Again, I'll probably have a separate video breaking that down, but I want to take an opportunity to mention that here. Now, continuing on with the Cornucopias game, we've got their latest release branded as the Avatar Creator 2.0. I mean, I can't break down all of these updates. Again, this is a laundry list of different known issues, but then recently made changes to resolve previously submitted issues. So again, if you haven't already downloaded this game, I believe the majority of the community can now basically get in if you hold any of their NFTs, as long as you meet all of the specs or all of the hardware requirements. Now, jumping into the last piece here, when it comes to Cornucopias, we have the release of their official land utility and rewards deck. Again, I'll leave the link to this down below, but this basically breaks down what we can expect for their first ever season. So this breaks down players and lots and exactly how you can progress throughout all the different seasons. Now, what this reminds me of is something like Fortnite. If you've ever played Fortnite or if your kids have ever played Fortnite, what they basically do is release different seasons which last a certain amount of time. And they're basically centered around different aspects, which kind of tells a story, right? So it looks like the Cornucopias game is taking a very similar route. And I think this is done really, really well for the Epic Games team or the team that's released Fortnite. And I think we're starting to see more games really incorporate that because it makes you feel like you're part of the process. And what I really love about this is that when you earn stuff during specific seasons, as those seasons move and as time goes on, some of those things you don't have the opportunity to get or to earn again. So again, check out this particular PDF. I'll leave the link to it down below, but it breaks down, how you can level up your land plots, how you can level up your players, and exactly what you can do for the first ever season. Now, they talk about rarities, how that influences your chances, your luck, and different boosts, but then also breaks down a little bit of the building, all of the activities, and etc. that you'll be able to actually complete and interact with once the actual game launches. Now, I'm going to be trying to sit down and just get a little bit more of an update from Rob Gregg and Josh Jones, and I'm going to have a little bit more just general content, hopefully collaborating with those two gentlemen here as well. Moving over, we do have a post from Black Mamba, basically recapping what I've just mentioned there about that utility deck, breaking down again player and land plot XP levels, multipliers, land plot utility, and the preseason phases for land rewards. That will do it there for updates surrounding the Cornucopias game. moving right on over, I want to briefly discuss the JPG.store team and their brand new pump.fun. I guess you can call it a derivative for lack of better terms here, which should be launching in the Cardano ecosystem. So this is called Rocket by JPG.store. It states foolproof token launching and trading in the Cardano ecosystem. Again, I mentioned pump.fun earlier. I'm going to quickly jump back over here. I mean, there's a lot going on here, but every time that you're seeing the screen update, there's either a sale or a launch of a brand new token. So as you can see here, this has been literally what's been driving the market cap in the TVL, as well as just the speculation in the Solana ecosystem. This is by far why they've had so much success here, especially when it comes to meme coins. It's because they figured out that if we lower the barrier to entry into meme coins, we can therefore allow for anybody to create a meme coin. And there's probably going to be more people creating meme coins looking for that, 100x than there would be if there wasn't a place like pump.fun. Now, we're going to start to see more of these platforms building here in Cardano, and JPG.store is just one of the first to do that. Now, I'm going to release more content about the other two platforms. One's being released and developed by the Saturn Swap team, and then we've also got another one being released by the SNEC community. Now, this particular one here is interesting, and I want to highlight some of its features. So it states here that this will give you the ability to launch a token in just a couple of seconds. It'll allow for all of the raised funds or everything that's been contributed to that token launch to go directly into the liquidity pool, right? Making sure that people can then, after the launch, actually get in and out of that token. And then all of the LP tokens or liquidity pool tokens will be burned upon completion. So this basically fixes a pretty big problem here that we've had within the meme coin space, where a lot of people raise funds for meme coins and they either put that into liquidity, but they don't necessarily burn or throw away those liquidity pool tokens. What they typically do is once a lot of people then, buy into the asset, they just pull all of their initial liquidity pool tokens, therefore just taking the majority of the underlying liquidity and then leaving everybody else holding the bag. So that's been a pretty big problem that we've had here with meme token launches. And as we're now starting to burn LP, people are considering memes to be a little bit more fair because, again, people can't pull the rug directly from underneath. Now, it also highlights here an automatic refund if a launch is unsuccessful, which I'm interested in hearing a little bit more about, because what that then makes me wonder is, will there be minimum requirements for an actual sale to go through or a meme coin launch to go through? Now, I'm also referring to meme coins here. This could be done for any type of token. Again, I think this now makes it easy for anybody who's not a developer, right, like yourself or me, to be able to jump onto a platform and create a token for themselves or for a product that they might be launching without necessarily having to pay a developer to come and do all of that complex stuff for them. Now, it states here that there's also going to be the same price for everybody, and there's going to be no advantage for bots. Again, a lot of these platforms, you don't really see what is possible until it launches. And there might be some things that, they have to update after the initial launch. But I know bots are one of the biggest deterrents when it comes to investing in meme coins, especially when they've got an advantage, being able to invest heavy amounts before anybody else is able to sort of pick up the fact that a new token has been launched. Again, we saw a lot of this coming to the spotlight about a year ago, where we saw the launch of numerous meme tokens, including SNEC, right? That's really what kind of drove it off or started it off. And then after the release of SNEC, we had sort of like this mini meme coin season in Cardano, where a lot of meme coins launched, but they were plagued by bots basically being able to make big purchases very early on before the rest of the community came in, and therefore being able to basically make the most out of those potential token launches. So that said, let's move over to the next piece here. We've got a brief preview of the actual platform. Again, we've got the token ticker. We've got links to different platforms like X, Discord, etc. And then we've got some amounts or some calculations or analytics surrounding the top holders and the founders. So pretty cool feature. Again, I'm going to probably have more information in a potential interview with the JPG.store team, given the fact that they will be attending at Rare Evo. We've got a very similar thing here, which has also been built and developed by the Ape Society. So as you guys may recall, or maybe you just missed it, the Ape Society basically packed their bags, left and headed out to base. And since then, they've built a brand new platform called onboard.fun, which is basically the same thing as pump.fun for Solana, or Rocket by JPG.store here for Cardano, but this is specific to the base ecosystem. So as you guys can see, this is sort of the trend now. Again, I'm not sure how long this is going to last, but people have quickly figured out that by being the person that allows for people to, create meme coins, there's also an upside for them. Keep in mind that these tokens that are launching on these platforms, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have to either provide a little bit of the token that they're launching back to pump.fund or onboard.fund, or they might just pay in a native asset before actually being able to launch the token. I don't believe that these are all done completely free. As we get ready to wrap down here, again, we've got the Saturn Swap platform, which will be releasing their own version of that. And then I mentioned SNEC earlier. So it just seems like overall, JPG.store is becoming that one-stop shop platform. I highlighted the fact that earlier they've got 98% of the total market share dominance for NFTs. And right now, you can mint your own NFTs on the platform. You can sell NFTs and obviously buy as well. And then not too long ago, they released a lending and borrowing feature too. So if you hold NFTs and you maybe want to swap that out for ADA without selling your NFT, but by paying a little bit of interest, you can do that from the JPG.store platform there as well. Now, as we get ready to wrap down here, I want to quickly highlight their lending dashboard. So very similar to Levy Finance, again, which was released or built by the Ape Society team before they decided to leave. They now have lending and borrowing directly in JPG.store. On the right-hand side here, we've got some of the recent activity. So it looks like somebody's unfortunately defaulted on some of their Omen NFTs, but you can quickly see what collections are available, how much liquidity is available for lending and borrowing, and then exactly how many loan offers and the average interest are for those different assets. As we get ready to move into the next piece here, I want to briefly highlight the Xerberus protocol. So they've just released Siren. It states, from today, you have the opportunity to fight back against scammers in our ecosystem and potentially recover some of your assets. Now, keep in mind, everything on the blockchain is final, so it's not like you're going to be able to somehow force, assets to come back into your wallet. However, from a law enforcement perspective or just from a secondary action perspective, this does give you a little bit of hope. So what we have here is a diagram, which was actually hand-drawn by Zach XBT, pretty well known creator here in just the Bitcoin and Ethereum space, breaking down some investigative work. And we saw the actual Cerberus team duplicate that using their brand new Siren tool. So as you guys can see here, this makes tracking transactions and interactions with the wallet extremely easy. And I do want to add that Tab Tools does have something very similar to this as well. Now, in addition to that here, I do want to highlight the fact that we do have the Giro team, which recently released a Project Catalyst Funding Round 12 proposal for something extremely similar. Now, this is called Adaflow. And I'm going to play a brief video here for Adaflow, again, highlighting how intuitive and how seamless this makes tracking activity from previous wallets or existing wallets in the Cardano ecosystem. So I'm thinking about this from like a security standpoint, or even just from like a tracking standpoint. Now, what's unfortunate about this is that obviously we can use this to track down scammers, but imagine somebody like the IRS or just different government arms coming into Cardano and also being able to use tools like this to, I don't want to say snoop around, but to be able to see, right, what else is going on here in Cardano. So I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are about different platforms like Siren and Adaflow, and whether or not you find those things to be more or less really good for security, or do you see them as being weapons that could be used against us? Now, as we get ready to jump into the last portion here for today's video, I want to highlight an update when it comes to Cardano wallets. The first one being a update released by the Tangem hardware wallet, where it states all Cardano native tokens are now supported on the Tangem wallet for purchase, sale, storage, swapping, and Dapp connection. Soon, native staking will also be available. So it looks like the Tangem wallet is catching up to what we at least have with the, I believe it's the Ledger wallets, where we now have the ability to obviously manage our Cardano native tokens in addition to ADA, but then we've also got the ability to stake natively from within the Ledger wallet. So good to see that other hardware wallet providers are beginning to pick up on Cardano and are adding more support for Cardano native assets. The next piece I want to briefly highlight here is coming in from the Begin Wallet team. So they've added in a brand new feature called Begin ID. And you can basically think of this as the wallet version or built-in wallet version of ADA handles. So instead of sending to addresses like we see here, you can basically reserve something very simple, as we just saw there, for example, like fareed.begin.id. And that is basically all that I'll have to share with other members in order to receive assets at that particular address. Now, I believe this is obviously integrated within the Begin wallet itself, but I'm not sure if other wallets have to integrate a standard very similar to how other wallets had to implement the ADA handle standard in order for them to be able to resolve or deduce who you're actually trying to send funds to. Now, again, this is available directly from within the Begin wallet. So if you do own a Begin wallet, you can quickly go ahead and claim your Begin IDs right now. What I really love about this particular feature here is the fact that the recovery process has now become so much easier. Now, here we've got somebody restoring a Begin ID with their face ID on their Apple device, and they're able to quickly restore a wallet, right? With that particular Begin ID. So not only can you use it for sending and receiving assets, you can also use it for wallet recovery there as well. In closing, I want to quickly highlight the Tokyo wallet, which was released not too long ago. I've had Guido and Magic Flow here on the channel to break down all the features about this particular wallet. It is available only on mobile right now. They will be releasing a desktop version in the future. But if you're not aware, Tokyo is a multi-chain wallet. So they've got support for Cardano, and I believe they're now targeting Bitcoin next. And they're basically aiming to be the one-stop shop platform. So you can also on-ramp, off-ramp. You've got access to Dex Hunter. You've got access to tap tools, all of that within the Tokyo wallet. Again, if you guys want to check it out, I'll leave the link to the actual application down below. But right now it's rated at 4.9 stars. And again, this was released about just a couple of weeks ago. So I'll have more content about this. But as you guys can see here, a lot of really solid feedback for a product that's just launched here supporting Cardano and Bitcoin. That will bring me to the end here for today's Cardano Scoop. A pretty long update, but hopefully you guys found this to be useful. I'm going to have more updates coming out here very soon. If you made it this far, I would really, really appreciate it if you could just smash that thumbs up. One of the easiest ways to support me here on the channel as a content creator. It also helps to get this content out to other people outside of Cardano. That said, if you want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Dapp Central. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or just want to share your opinion, then leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.